Alright, so I'm getting kind of tired of messing around with this thing, so I want to put it into Painter and see if it'll actually work and hold up. And get the point across, which is this a weapon that I want to use? So the first thing I'm going to do is decide if I want to go ahead and just combine this all into one object, decimate it down, export that as my game res, or do I want functionality like do I want to decimate the trigger and then the trigger guard and then this little thing here? Because if I do that all separately, what I can do later is, of course, UV them separately and texture them separately so that I can have some animation control. But since I'm just trying to get a look of the model down, what I'm going to do is export this all as one object. But first what I need to do is give this thing some material IDs. So let's go ahead and grab our color menu here. And I'm going to start with red, and I'm just going to start from the top. We've got 21 subtools, so I'm going to go here. And I'm going to do my hotkey for my fill. I'm just going to go through and start filling these things. So we'll do an orange, and then a yellow, and then a green. Now, if you do decimate these all separately, you don't have to go through this process. You can just do fills in, you can do fills in Painter based on vert. Oh, I guess I did want to keep that. Come on, ZBrush, keep up. And then purple for this one. And then magenta for the next one. And then background to red. Let's do a light red. And then do a light yellow. And then do a light green. Alternatively, what you could do is also just make them all a separate polygroup and then do poly paint from polygroup, and it'll probably get you a pretty decent result. I'm just kind of spacing out my colors here to make sure that my masks don't get confused when I go into Painter. And you can also use your own card that you can bring in and give them very, very precise mathematical values, but I'm just winging it. Okay, so there's all my pieces here. And it looks like I missed one here. It's because I had a mask here, so let's go ahead and select that color by hitting C. And then filling. And there we go. Bring everything back. So now that you have everything showing and everything has got its own material ID, what I'm going to do is do a merge visible. Go ahead and select that. And you're going to see some of these things that get colored. And they also need to be subdivided instead of just dynamically subdivided. So I'm going to go ahead and select all those pieces that need to be non-dynamically subdivided. I'm going to turn off the poly paint temporarily here. Split those out temporarily. And you shouldn't be in here. Now I'm going to Control D on all these, make them nice and sharp. And then merge them back down. Let's turn on our poly paint here. And then for these things that I didn't quite get, I'm just going to do shades of gray here. So we'll do a light gray for this one. And then we'll grab this one. And this one is actually going to be the same color as this one. So we'll just fill that. And these will be the same material too. So we can kind of start simplifying some of these. So C to select that color, fill, and then it looks like we got the trigger here. Let's go ahead and give that a darker gray. All right, everything's looking good. And now what I'm going to do is Dynamesh all these together, turn off project, turn off blur, keep my color on, and hit Dynamesh. And as you can see, I didn't lose a whole lot of resolution in here. It looks pretty decent. So I'm going to go ahead and export this as my high. And now I'm actually going to Dynamesh this down to a lower resolution. And I'll just keep dumbing it down, because basically what I'm going to do is go ahead and go to Z plugin, preprocess current, and see how that looks. Let's do 16, enter, decimate current. Looks fine to me for game res. Of course, you want a even lower res game res. Just continue to knock that down as much as you want. We can look at our polygons here. Good enough for me. Let's go ahead and do an export. We'll do Stevens low. And you can go ahead and do your UVs in ZBrush. I'm going to use Maya really quickly and soften my normals in there. Go to File, Import, and we'll go ahead and grab our low res here. And if it ever gives you an error when you import the low res, go ahead and re-import your low res into ZBrush. It'll clear up any straight verts, and then you can go to geometry, fix mesh, and then try re-importing it into Maya. But this one looks like it worked fine. I'm going to do a quick unlock my normals, set them to face, and then soften all the edges here. So this will be my game res, and I need to do one more thing. Windows UV editor, and we'll do a quick automatic UVs. And let's go ahead and look at these here. I can rearrange some of this stuff, but you know what? This will be fine. Good enough. And then delete by type history, freeze transformations. Everything's looking good. So I'm going to go ahead and just re-export this back out as my low. And I'm going to launch up Painter.